Our programming is designed to inform, educate, and entertain. We invite you to join us.
The following is the preamble of the Constitution of the Bahamas, which was made on June 20th, 1973, and came into operation July 10th, 1973.
Whereas 481 years ago, the rediscovery of this family of islands, rocks and keys, heralded the rebirth of the New World. And whereas the people of this family of islands, recognizing that the preservation of their freedom will be guaranteed by a national commitment to self-discipline, industry, loyalty, unity, and an abiding respect for Christian values and the rule of law. Now, know we therefore, we the inheritors of and successors to this family of islands, recognizing the supremacy of God and believing in the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual, do hereby proclaim in solemn praise the establishment of a free and democratic sovereign nation, founded on spiritual values, and in which no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone, or their labor exploited, or their lives frustrated by deprivation, and do hereby provide by these articles for the indivisible unity and creation under God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
NIB will be offering services also from the National Stadium.
I think we will see less crowded excursions and experiences, whether downtown, whether people are taking a tour, because that's what is now going to be the new normal.
The latest on locating those missing COVID-19 patients. NIB ups its customer service game, and a decades-old restaurant bows to pressure. Good morning, everyone. I'm Akush Lopinder, and this is the Morning Edition. The only figure climbing in the local fight against COVID right now is the number of tests completed. The most recent dashboard puts that number at 1,977, up from the 1,972 a day earlier. This while the number of confirmed cases sit at 100, deaths at 11, the recovered at 46, and hospitalized at 6. Now, at last report, officials still had a problem finding 13 to 15 people placed in home isolation. An app was to come online yesterday to help better monitor this group. Our Lloyd Allen this morning spoke with the Deputy Chief Medical Officer Delon Brennan in terms of the inroads being made in this regard.
The app is working fine for those that were able to load it. We are having some minor challenges when it comes to people being able to load it onto their smart devices, having data available to them. So those are some challenges that we anticipated. And so we're trying to get, to make sure that they have the ability to add more data to their system. So we are connecting with our telecommunications partners to make sure that that happens, making sure that we walk them through the process. So, these are some of as you're piloting these types of projects, these are some of the issues you have to anticipate, and hopefully we'll be able to overcome them as more and more persons are added to the system.
Also, as we talk about quarantine, are there any inroads on tracking down those 12 to 15 persons not located by health teams?
Those persons, we did have some luck in trying to find, the majority of those persons. They were healthy and they were able to be discharged from quarantine. So we feel very comfortable that our measures of in-person going to look for people as opposed to merely calling them on the phone has reaped some benefits.
Another question. Repatriation flight set for Friday. We understand that the group coming in comprised of a diverse grouping of citizens, residents, and permit holders. Is this a safe move by the Bahamas considering the success of controlling COVID-19 on the local front to date?
So far, it has been successful. We've had 4 repatriation flights that have come into New Providence thus far. We have groupings that have already been discharged from quarantine that we have, been able to keep track of for the full 14 days. They've all been asymptomatic, and realize that all of these persons that when they come, they are being monitored very closely. The overwhelming majority of them have been able to access testing even before they came. And we know that they weren't shedding virus at the time. So when they're here, we continue to monitor them for the entire time. And it has turned out very well. So I think the manner in which we're doing it is providing very safe and a reassuring approach so that the Bahamian public should feel comforted by we're not taking chances and going to reintroduce COVID into communities where COVID is currently either on the decline or isn't known to be there at all.
And just a follow-up question based on what you said just now, are there any groups of persons outside of our borders who have not been approved for repatriation?
Yes, there have been persons that have not been approved. They either weren't able to access a real-time PCR test, or their PCR test was, more than a month ago, or times like that, and it just was too far to feel safe. That we were not going to be able to put them in a position where we could assure everyone that we weren't putting them at risk, and so we have asked people to get the appropriate test or get a repeat test. So that definitely has happened.
And transitioning back to the local front, any significant developments in Bimini? We are hearing that the 2,000 residents have had their needs met, but have there been to date any indicators of continued spread on that island?
No, what we have continued to do, even during the lockdown, is make sure that we monitor for symptoms and seeing if people are showing up with any challenges, especially those who have been known to be in contact, especially close contact household members and the like, with the cases that have been previously identified in Bimini. And thus far, we have not seen a spike in numbers of persons who either started to have symptoms or have identified as contacts with those individuals. So that, for the most part, the activities in Bimini and the restrictions appear to be working very well. Once the time period has passed, we'll do another round of some testing, especially for those, again, that are in households that may have been associated, and we'll see what the results of that lockdown have been able to produce for us.
Dr. Brennan, as always, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Allen.
For the Morning Edition, Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Well, meantime, Bahamians stranded in Florida have another chance to get back home. Bahamas Air will take to the skies on another COVID-19 relief flight from Fort Lauderdale to Nassau this Friday at 2 p.m. This flight will only facilitate the return of Bahamian citizens, residents, and those with valid work permits, as you just heard. The cost of the ticket is $150. However, existing Bahamas Air tickets will be accepted. Furthermore, travel dates can be changed without penalty. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs also reminding all nationals and residents wishing to return home that it is necessary to have in hand a negative COVID-19 RT-PCR test, and that test certificate should be valid within 10 days of the travel date, and the test results sent to the Ministry of Health 48 hours in advance. Now, this will enable the Ministry of Health to make an early determination regarding full quarantine or self-quarantine upon arrival in the Bahamas. Now, if the determination cannot be made in advance, returning nationals and residents will automatically be placed in a government quarantine facility. Bookings on the outboard flight can be confirmed on Friday at 10 a.m. For more information, you can log on to the airline's website at www.bahamasair.com. Well, life after lockdowns, what will it look like? Well, Director General of Tourism Joy Jibrillou puts it bluntly. It will not be as it was pre-COVID.
Everyone is using the term the new normal. Someone said we should not perhaps use the new normal, we should use the term the next normal. And if we look at that term next normal in context of travel, airline travel after 9/11, the security measures that are in place, if you are old enough to know what travel was like pre-9/11, you will know that such things never existed. And so post-COVID-19, the health and safety measures and protocols that will be in place will be what we've never experienced before.
Says at airports there will be hand sanitizer stations, social distancing measures, and mask wearing. No, it's not what we're used to, but will be a part of what we now do.
Getting in a taxi where social distancing and hygiene measures are enhanced. In hotels, in fact, many hotels are making the cleanliness feature a part of the experience, so that when you do go through a door, you will see someone coming up and wiping the door and giving you the reassurance that, okay, I don't have to worry about surfaces here. And so these things will then become slowly just expected. I think we will see less crowded excursions and experiences, whether downtown, whether people are taking a tour, because that's what is now going to be the new normal, the new expectation.
Well, if all goes as planned, commercial travel is expected to resume July 1st. The Director General says it's all about ensuring that Bahamians are safe and protected, and by extension, visitors. Coming up, the National Insurance Board expanding outside its Blue Hill Road headquarters to meet the growing demands of Bahamians. That and more when the Morning Edition returns.
Our marine resources were once considered inexhaustible. Conch and reef fish like grouper were abundant everywhere, and it seemed as if the lobster catch would rise forever. But today, there is a downward trend that affects everyone. Researchers say we can reverse the trend by protecting more marine habitats. And the good news is that most Bahamians strongly support efforts to halt further decline. Tripling the size of our network of marine parks will mean more fish and conch for everyone now and for the future, as well as more recreational and ecotourism opportunities. Today, only 10% of our waters are protected. Surveys show that most Bahamians consider protection of our marine environment to be a top national priority. More protection means more benefits for everyone, now and in the future. It's a win-win-win strategy for the economy, for Bahamians, and for nature. Protect our sea, protect our way of life, protect the Bahamas. See the future. Visit Bahamas Protected on Facebook to learn more about marine protected areas.
The natural resources of the Bahamas play a critical role in supporting Bahamian livelihoods. For example, the fishing and tourism industry, which include fishermen, seafood exporters, hoteliers, dive operators, restaurants, and others. Collectively, they generate approximately $1.5 billion a year. Therefore, we must respect and preserve what we have. These resources belong to us.
This is my livelihood.
This is my livelihood.
This is my livelihood.
So let's all do our part to maintain our local economy and a good quality of life. Remember, if we take care of nature, nature will take care of us.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
School is closed, but not for vacation. The global pandemic, COVID-19, continues to spread worldwide. Here's what you can do to keep yourself safe. If you have a headache, runny nose, sneeze, or cough, stay at home until you feel better. When you cough or sneeze, cover your mouth or nose with a bent elbow and dispose of the used tissue immediately. If symptoms persist, call the COVID-19 hotline at 376-9350 or 376-9387. Remember, it's safer and smarter.
This public service announcement was brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
The government's running out of money and the Bahamian dollar is facing devaluation. Well, that's a claim the Ministry of Finance is strongly refuting. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Peter Turnquist, noting in a statement that the country's foreign reserves are capably managed by the Central Bank of the Bahamas. The statement goes on to say that since the COVID-19 crisis, the central bank has taken several preemptive steps to shore up our reserves and will continue to take the necessary action as needed. The Deputy Prime Minister echoed a central bank statement indicating that monetary policies have already taken into consideration vital local needs, and any reports of devaluation threats are entirely misleading and without merit. The National Insurance Board's implementing new measures to better serve clients. Beginning today, the board has relocated at least a portion of its customer service. That's been moved to the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Now, officials say this allows for proper social distancing and more windows to cater to thousands of NIB customers. Over the next 3 days, the names will be published with a last name protocol. Here's Director Dr. Nicola Vergereau on the expectations.
Persons who we have to serve from those locations, they will be directed from our website where they will their names will be listed to be able to understand to report to the National Stadium for services we may provide for them. And so that is a new change that we are offering now in order to serve people more safely and comfortably as well.
Now, customers will be asked to present an official government identification. That's a NIB smart card, a passport, or driver's license to the NIB agent at the time of service. Dr. Roll says NIB is also expanding the unemployment assistance program for those self-employed in the tourism sector. The program, initially slated for 8 weeks, will continue until July. A new sector will be included to receive benefits.
Government has also advised us also of a policy change with respect to the treatment for barbers and beauticians. Previously, all self-employed persons other than those in the tourism sector were required to have business licenses. However, we recognize that there were special challenges with respect to barbers and beauticians who lease chairs in regulated establishments. And so they may not have had a business license on their own. And so we will be accepting applications for them who do not, even if they do not have a business license in their own name, they must be registered with NIB, provide a signed letter from the principal of the barbershop or the beauty salon attesting that they have leased a full-time chair over 3 months prior to April 2020. And they also should provide Instagram or Facebook links or photos evidencing that they had performed this work.
COVID-19 may have slowed down a lot of things, but Bahamas Power and Light's pending deal with Shell North America's not one of them. If all goes as planned, that should happen within a few weeks. A memorandum of understanding was signed with the government back in 2018 to finance both a new power plant and the proposed liquefied natural gas terminal. Shell officials say an LNG plant will mean a more stable source of energy for the Bahamas.
The goal is unchanged, and we are also optimistic that we can get there. With regard to the LNG terminal, we always that we would be a bit later with the introduction of LNG, and we said we're basically going to be pretty fast after the terminal, but that is expected to be in the 2022 time frame now. So the timeline, the plan to get the power stations completed is unchanged in 2021, and we're expecting to get the LNG terminal completed within a year after that power station. So that's that is likely going to be in the time frame of 2022.
Economic restraints and a global pandemic placing a chokehold on a local Italian restaurant. East Bay Street's Luciano's of Chicago has crumbled under the pressure and on Monday announced in a statement plans to permanently close its doors. Despite increased competition in the industry and a shift in the customer base, Luciano's management had remained committed to its staff despite mounting losses each month. The economic impact of COVID-19 was the final nail in the coffin, leaving no choice but to close and make its team redundant, the statement read. It goes on to disclose that the owners and management team have been struggling to make ends meet for the last couple of years and have exhausted every avenue to keep the restaurant open and the team employed, adding that nobody could have predicted the effects of COVID-19 on the economy, and sadly, the fallout has necessitated the permanent closure of the restaurant. The 10-year-old restaurant thanked its customers for their support and patronage over the years, as well as its restaurant team. Well, yesterday we clued you in on the consequences of unhealthy food habits amid COVID-19. Today, in our two-part series on oral health, we speak to a pediatric dentist who hones us in on the challenges a number of our waist-high patients have faced as a result of poor choices. Lloyd Allen fills us in.
It can be considered a rippling effect, economic restrictions leading to strained finances, that leading to poor food choices, that leading to reduced oral health, and many of those affected are children.
When people have limited amounts of funding, they tend to shop and just kind of pick up whatever's quick, whatever's easy, and they think that, they're saving money.
Pediatric dentist Dr. Kristen Darville says the last 2 months have found parents adopting both healthy and unhealthy food lifestyles. The end result, not enough attention on children's oral care.
What are these kids eating? Because they're home all the time, and I have had parents come in and they're like, these kids are eating me out of house and home because they're like snacking all day. And as a pediatric dentist, that's like the worst thing that you could do is snack all day or have your kids snack all day. And so one problem is definitely going to have a rippling effect on other aspects of like the kids' everyday lives.
In fact, she says several cases have surfaced in recent weeks.
A lot of kids with swollen faces, abscessed teeth, pain during the night, pain during the day, not able to eat. And, people kind of are like, oh, they're just baby teeth. It's not a big deal. But when you are in a situation where you can't get access to care when you want to, you do realize the importance of taking care of not just your kids' teeth, but your own teeth.
Darville suggests more proteins, eliminating refined carbs, and focusing on foods like oatmeal or even grits.
Of course, the big thing that you want your kids to get would be the category of fruits and vegetables. And instead of, again, choosing a processed option, which would be like a ready-made like fruit snack or a dried fruit or a fruit cup, just go ahead and buy a whole fruit, like a whole apple, berries, bananas, those kinds of things.
For the morning edition, Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
The Olympics may be a no-go and track meets may be canceled, but the training continues for Bahamian athletes having been given the green light to get back hard at it again. Charles Fisher caught up with a few of them.
Charisma Taylor, sophomore at Washington State, was having a superb indoor season, already being named Pac-12 Conference Athlete of the Week on numerous occasions, and was looking to explode at the Indoor Nationals.
Affected me in a very big way. I was on my way to Nationals, and we got the word that Nationals was canceled because of this coronavirus situation. And it was my first Nationals, so I felt like kind of let down because I was ready, first of all, and because I knew that I was going to do something big there. But I feel like everything happens for a reason, so I just take this with a grain of salt and just move on.
The same for University of Indiana junior Giles Etienne, who was ranked in the top 5 in the high jump.
I mean, it affected me a lot. I was at Nationals when they told me they was going to cancel Nationals and the season was over, so that really hit me hard. But, now it's just preparing for next year, just trying to stay fit.
With the shutdown in effect, Taylor had to make some adjustments.
I was training in my yard. Coach James gave us some workouts to do, and also my coach back at school. So I was just doing my training in my yard, staying in the best shape as possible until we can come out here and train. It's a blessing and a curse because I get to train with my coach, Coach James. And then obviously I want to be in school as well, training with my coach in school. But I can't have the best of both worlds, so I'm just making the best out of training here, being here, and then when I get to go back to school, then I'll go back to school and train. And I'm also in summer school, so that's keeping me busy as well.
Giles, in the meantime, he went with a different approach.
I took like a month off, but now I'm back out there training with Coach James, trying to get back in shape for the season. I see it as kind of a positive. I had those small injuries. They're healing up because of this rest. But now they just have more time to get better before Olympics. That's how I see it.
Now, with the uncertainty of school in the fall semester, both athletes ready for what may be the new norm.
We will be back in school in the fall, but it's still going to be some sort of distance learning. So the bigger classes will be online, and then the smaller classes will be in the bigger classrooms so we can practice social distancing. So I feel like our president, the school's president, is doing a great job with that.
We just had, some Zoom meetings and that type of stuff. Just the coach would send workouts and all that.
K1 Culmer recently graduated from the University of Nebraska, was in full mood in preparation for the Tokyo Olympics. Then his training had to stop due to COVID.
Started off jogging, a mile here, waking out. After that, I ain't gonna lie, it went downhill. Started slacking off and, laziness took in, to be honest. Coach has given us a little indication that, we might start training soon. But at the moment, I was just working, trying to stay occupied. We started off the season thinking, Olympics coming. It's good, everyone's dream is to go to Olympics. Now, no more Olympics, so it's like, what now? It's different. It's a lot to deal with, but it's still a positive because in the end, a lot of people are injured. You got a time to rest. Now you have a whole another, 9-10 months to get prepared once again, hit it again, get ready for Olympics next year. So it's a benefit to a lot of people, especially the ones coming out of college. It's a benefit, and it's a blessing in disguise.
Keep up the good work and continue to train and represent the Bahamas well. For the Morning Edition, I'm Charles Fisher.
You're with the Morning Edition. There's more coming up.
As an artist, I travel all over the world, and I find inspiration all around me, in the people, and especially the environment. I love the Bahamas with all its natural beauty, from Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south, and all the wonderful and colorful islands in between. But we must all do our part to keep the Bahamas healthy and clean, now and for the future generations. That's why I want you to find a little time to do your part. I'm doing my part because I care. Do you?
Let's stay COVID-free. Remember the 3 S's. Sanitize, social distance, and stay inside.
Hello, my name is Mikhail Roll, and I am 7 years old. I know that COVID-19 is on everyone's mind. We have to follow all guidelines set by the government in order to slow the spread of the virus. Remember to wear your homemade face masks, wash your hands frequently, cover your coughs and sneezes, and practice social distancing by staying at least 6 feet away from each other. But most importantly, stay inside. I repeat, stay inside. Only leave your home for emergencies or to purchase essential items. Let's all work together to get rid of COVID-19. 242, it's not fun, but it must be done. Thank you, and bye-bye.
This PSA was brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas and C-Rose Video.
The Ministry of Health wishes to advise members of the public that prevention is key during this flu season. Practicing good cough hygiene can make the difference between you and your loved ones getting the flu or spreading the influenza virus. Good cough hygiene habits include covering your mouth and nose with a tissue when coughing or sneezing, and proper disposal of the tissue in a trash bin. Coughing or sneezing into your upper sleeve near your inner elbow and not your hands when a tissue is not available. Avoiding the use of handkerchiefs and towels as they hold germs, becoming a nest for the virus. And frequently washing your hands with soap and water, which is listed as one of the most important steps you can take to avoid getting sick and passing the virus on to others. If you have any questions about how to practice good cough hygiene to avoid catching or spreading the flu, contact your nearest community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
Well, during this somewhat depressing time, for some people, St. John Canoe Organization is doing its best to keep them in a jovial mood. Charles Fisher has the story.
It's an annual project many musical and Bahamian fans look forward to. And despite the times we are going through, St. John Canoe Organization trying to uplift the souls of many with the release of their new song.
We normally would, produce this song, release it early in the year, but due to coronavirus, it took us a little while. But this year we want to now bring this out to let the world see what Sting has been doing for the last 6 months and last year. And we're proud to release this year. We hope that you all will enjoy it and looking forward to 2020 this year.
The release of the music video, I Can Do It My Way.
My way, my way, my way. I can do it my way, my way, highway. I don't care what you say. It don't matter, no way. I can do it my way.
Writer and singer Dylan D. Mark McKenzie.
It's all about one organization that's been representing the Bahamian culture and Bahamian music for over 20 years. This is the 20th anniversary this year. And for 20 years, the Sting organization has been releasing one song per year. And now it's one song and a music video to go with it. So this is a momentous occasion, and we're looking forward to folks enjoying this video and seeing that this organization, which is a John Canoe group, but they're actually producing music and including the entertainment industry in it as well. My Way is all about freeing yourself, freeing your mind. It's who you are as a person. You know, we go through life and we take advice from people, and not all the time those advice are good advice. Some people tell you, oh boy, you're getting fat or whatever it is, so you need to lose weight. Then the minute you go lose some weight, they say you got the vibe. So it's liberating yourself and trying to think for yourself and look within yourself, seeing who you are and bettering yourself based on what you think you need to do.
Now, many would have thought the group may have gone with an ongoing topic, COVID-19.
Personally, I'll incorporate things on the level of COVID, but not as particularly to say it's going to be a COVID song. We're going through a tough time, and I'm sure there are enough COVID songs out there that other artists are producing, so I don't necessarily have to do that. My focus is now more on getting our music and our culture exposed on an international level, even more so now than before. Because of this COVID-19 thing this pandemic that has come down on us.
Hope you love the song and it can bring some inspiration in these times. For the Morning Edition, I'm Charles Fisher.
Well, to keep you in that upbeat mood, we'll turn to your Tuesday workout, and for that, we turn to Natasha Brown.
Hi, good morning to all, and thank you for joining me. Do not let too much of yesterday use up today. Yes, it's all about the downtown Ronald COVID-19 routine. Let's go ahead and get started. Recycle teenagers. I know you are ready. Remember now, we are adding 2 steps today. We've got the jumping jacks. So we're going to take it jumping jacks 90 nice and easy. Then you're gonna take it, step out to the side, and out and down to it, right? So take it, your feet together, and let's go ahead and stretch it out. Yeah. So just bring the heels up one at a time as you're touching the toe. Let's go ahead now and stand up. Take the right hand across the chest and go ahead and add your whole left feet to it. Yes. Open up. Take the left hand over. Stretch it out. Final stretch. Take it behind us. Pull away from the body. Yeah, we are ready. March it out right here. Yeah. Now we're going to go into grapevine to warm up on 4, 3, 2. Let's do it. There you go. Nice and easy. Yes. That's 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2. Big step right here. Take it for 4. That's 3, 2. Grapevine. Big step right here. That's 2, 3. Grapevine left. Big step right here. There you go. We've got one more. 3 and 4. Grapevine right here. Hey. 2, 3. Grapevine to the left. Now we're going to add the pivot step right here. On 3, 4. Add it right here. Pivot turn. Let's go. Grapevine. V-step. 2, 3. Pivot turn right here. There you go. Grapevine V-step. You got it. That's it. 2, 3. Pivot turn right here. Yeah. Let's go. Yes. V-step. Hey. 3. Pivot turn right here. Now we're going to add the jumping jacks right here. V-step. Yes. On 2, 3. Pivot turn. Jumping jacks for 4. 1, 2, 3. Grapevine. Yes. Now V-step. You got it. 1, 2, 3. Pivot turn. 4 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3. Grapevine. V-step. Yeah, you got it. 2, 3. Pivot turn right here. 4 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3. Last time, grapevine. Yes. There you go. Hold it. Big step. 1. Yeah. 2, 3. Got a little excited. Pivot turn. 4 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3. Out in the other step. Right here. Big step. 1, 2. Yeah. 3. Pivot turn. 4 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Step up. Ready. Grapevine. Take it into the V-step. That's 1, 2, 3. Pivot turn. 4 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Step up. Now march it up right there. Listen, you keep that, you practice that, then we're going to put the whole routine together the next opportunity we have. Just a quick note to boost your immune system. Check out New Life. They've got vitamin C, Camu. In order for us to be able to get up daily and function like we ought to, We gotta have some things that's going to enhance our immune system. Tomorrow, it's all about our children. So you need your garbage bin, you need your mat, and your 5 sheets of paper. Until next time, I am Downtown Natasha Brown, keeping you fit, healthy, and energized. I am the ultimate me.
Public service announcement is brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
The Ministry of Education, in conjunction with the Ministry of Health, advises students, teachers, administrators, and staff to adhere to the following steps in an effort to minimize the risk of COVID-19, also known as the coronavirus. Step 1. Be sure to wash hands before and after you eat, after using the bathroom, touching money, shaking hands, or emptying the trash. You may also use hand sanitizers throughout the day. Frequently wash hands with soap and water for 20 seconds and rinse with clean water. Dry hands with clean paper towels. Step 2. Cough or sneeze into your elbow or sleeve and not into your hands or into the ear. Or cover your nose or mouth with a tissue. Immediately dispose of the tissue into the trash. Be sure to wash your hands thoroughly afterwards. Step 3. Do not drink from the same cans, bottles, or cups of other persons. Do not share eating utensils, such as forks and spoons. Do not share school supplies, such as pencils or pens. Step 4. Germs can live on many surfaces. Be sure to wipe and disinfect desks, school supplies, railings, and other surfaces that are regularly touched by others. Step 5. Avoid close contact with anyone who is coughing and sneezing. Let's do what we can to help minimize the risk of the coronavirus.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Did you know that there are over 30,000 Bahamians with diabetes and another 23,000 with pre-diabetes? Each year, this number is expected to increase. Many people who have diabetes are unaware. If you are having blurry vision, feeling thirsty, urinating frequently, or are unusually tired or losing weight despite a healthy diet, you may have diabetes. If you have a parent or sibling that has diabetes, you are also at an increased risk of developing diabetes. If you have noticed any of these symptoms, it is important to see your doctor, who will perform the necessary tests to confirm the diagnosis. Together, we can beat diabetes.
The Ministry of Health is working to ensure the safety of the Bahamian people. Help us minimize the risk that coronavirus poses to citizens, residents, and visitors by following these 5 easy steps. Step 1. Wet your hands with clean water. Apply soap and lather for 20 seconds by rubbing them together. Include the top of your hands between your fingers and under your fingernails. Rinse your hands under clean water, then dry them with a paper towel or air dry them. Remember to wash your hands before and after eating, preparing a meal, changing a diaper, or caring for the sick, and always after using the bathroom, touching money, shaking hands, or taking out the trash. Step 2. Cough and sneeze in your elbow or upper sleeve, not in your hands, not in the air. Or you can cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Put your used tissue in the trash bin when you're finished. Remember to wash your hands with soap and clean water after you cough or sneeze. Also, remember never to spit on the ground, roads, or in open spaces. Step 3. Ensure that raw meat is properly handled and cooked thoroughly. Step 4. Avoid sharing drinking glasses, eating utensils like spoons and forks, or sharing personal items such as toothbrushes and towels. Germs can live on surfaces we touch, so wipe and disinfect surfaces where germs can live, and keep your surroundings clean. Step 5. Avoid close contact with anyone showing symptoms of respiratory illness, such as coughing or sneezing. Should you or anyone you know feel that you have been exposed to the coronavirus, contact the surveillance unit of the Ministry of Health immediately. To reach us, call 502-4776, 502-4790, or 502-4737. We want Bahamians and those that live with and visit us to remain safe from the coronavirus. To do this, we need the help of each and every one of you to follow the simple steps we have shared. Let's stay safe, Bahamas.
Hey, it's me, Julian Believe. Let me tell you something. This coronavirus pandemic is serious. I believe in you, and I know you believe in me. So let's social distance. Let's wash our hands. Let's stay at home. And if we have to go out, which we shouldn't, but maybe if we have to go to the food store and it's one person per household, we should stay away from large crowds and we should be 6 feet apart from any person. If you do your part and I do my part, then we can fight this and get through this together. I believe in you, so believe in me. And let's fight the coronavirus pandemic. Believe in yourself. That's the motto. That's where we should live.
COVID-19 continues to impact the Bahamas and the world. ZNS Network is here to keep you informed on this growing pandemic.
We are in a race against time.
With team coverage, hourly updates, news, and special reports with information that is important to you. ZNS Network is your best choice for COVID-19 coverage. No other station covers the Bahamas better.
Well, as we said earlier, the National Insurance Board will, over the next 3 days, cater to some clients from the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Lloyd Allen is there.
Yes, good morning, Makusha. It's actually 1,200 persons that the National Insurance Board is expecting to see today as they assist those persons with unemployment assistance. Now, on our way to this facility here at the National Stadium, we noticed a tremendous line as persons were attempting to get on the inside. As you can see from this shot as well, many persons are here waiting to get their assistance from the government. Now, we spoke with some officials inside who said that they have about 4 queue windows set up. And as you can see with these persons, they're going to be using a queuing system. Obviously, social distancing not fully enforced yet at this location. But once they approach closer to those windows, they're saying that social distancing will be enforced. 1,200 persons, again, expected to be assisted by National Insurance, coming from a number of industries here in the Bahamas, and this is in addition to those 30,000 plus persons who were assisted last week. This, according to the minister responsible for National Insurance, the Honorable Brent Rule. Again, reporting here from the National Stadium, Lloyd Allen for the Morning Edition.
Well, again, you're watching the Morning Edition. Stay with us. A check on weather is up next.
Chief of Service, Accident and Emergency, Nassau, Bahamas. Corona cannot hold us down.
In the general situation, an area of disturbed weather will continue to support unstable conditions across portions of the northwest and central Bahamas today. Boaters should remain alert for possible waterspout activity, and residents in flood-prone and low-lying areas should exercise caution due to possible localized flooding during heavy or prolonged rainfall. In the northwest and central Bahamas, the weather's mostly cloudy to overcast, very warm and a bit breezy with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Showers may be heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. A small craft caution remains in effect for the northwest Bahamas. Small craft operators should also be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers or thunderstorms. In the southeast Bahamas, the weather's partly cloudy and hot with a chance of a few passing showers, mostly fair and mild tonight. There's a daytime high temperature of 86 degrees Fahrenheit and an overnight low of 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, just a reminder, keep those videos and pictures coming in for us on how you're passing the time in the government-imposed lockdown, or if you want to salute those on the front line, the number 477-0546. Remember to stay tuned to the ZNS Network, your best choice for local, regional, and international COVID-19 coverage. We're the only station providing you with live radio and television updates throughout the day, giving you up-to-the-minute information. Our coverage continues at 10 on radio and then on the television network. For the morning edition, I'm Lakush Lopinder.
I've been a practicing artist since, I guess, 2002, 2003. And primarily my work is acrylic on canvas. I used to paint on oil as well, but now I prefer using acrylics as much as possible. The work at present is what you would consider magical realism. The images, sort of these mythological, fantastical imagery and fantastical creatures and that kind of thing. And of late, the work is primarily focused on issues of identity, especially in relation to myself being of Haitian descent. The work is sort of geared towards discussing those ideas about Haitian-Bahamian relations, but also discussing my place in this particular space as an individual. And I like those kind of ideas because I like to play with that duality of that, how one person could be one person behind closed doors or wear a particular mask in public, but they actually are something totally different and privately. And it's something I dealt with because over the years, being of Haitian descent, in the Bahamian context, I felt the need to mask that particular part of myself, the Haitian part of myself. And I find it now, being older, that I want to discuss those kind of issues, those ideas, and those problems in my artwork. Based on sort of the history of Haitians and Bahamians, I think as an artist, I feel compelled to have that discussion. And I think based on the discussions I see happening locally, nationally, in sort of the national discourse, I think my work has a place in that discussion. Personally, how the central bank has helped me is that it helped me to, for one, primarily secure funds to go to school. That's the first thing. It validated me as an artist. It validated my work. And I saw it also as a motivator to continue to be an artist and to create work and to be the artist I am today. And I think that's important. By creating the work that I'm creating now in my art practice, I feel that people who see my work may empathize with people of Haitian descent and see a different view that they may not have seen before. But I think it's all about perspective, right? I think if you get a moment to be enlightened in this particular way, they may see things differently. And not everything necessarily is so black and white. Some things are gray, some things are blurred in between those particular lines that we like to put as a particular line, but it's it's blurred, right? And I think being a part of the community and being on the outside, in a way, you see things differently. You see things through a different lens. And I want to be able to let you see those particular things that I see through my lens as well. And I think that as an artist, that's important to me. I think that is my sort of contribution. My name is Jackson Petit. I am a visual artist and I am a filmmaker.
Bahamas is a very beautiful place. We have sandy beaches and clear waters. We have a lot of tourists coming here. We like to dance and make music. The Bahamas is a chain of islands surrounded by water. It is about 60 miles from Florida. We live on Andros Island. One of the most beautiful treasures we have in the Bahamas is a coral reef. Some people call it the jewel of the Bahamas.
A coral reef is a massive limestone formation which is built up by millions of little tiny creatures called polyps, which are related to the jellyfish family. I'm Nicholas Nuttall. I founded BREEF, the Bahamas Reef Environment Educational Foundation. People talk about the coral reefs as being the rainforests of the ocean, like a huge bank of trees with all sorts of things living in and off them. Coral reefs are abundant in the Bahamas, or were, up until a few years ago. We have the third longest coral reef in the world.
In the past 20 years, a lot of the coral reef have died.
The coral reefs are endangered because some people throw trash, chemicals, oil, gasoline in the water.
Makes me feel bad because the Bahamas depends on the coral reefs for our tourism.
The danger of the coral reefs I'm afraid, comes from humans. Overfishing is the most immediate cause, and then the global warming, which is caused by excess use of energy, which makes the water warmer, and it's a stress which the coral can't stand. A healthy piece of coral has a dimpled look on it. The colors are either blue or various sorts of orange and yellow. The dead coral is white or brownish and usually covered in weed. It's not a pretty sight.
If you look at the reef now compared to what it was in 1973, it's a vast difference. My name is Peter Douglas. I'm a dive master here at Small Hope Bay Lodge. In some places, it looks like a war zone. And, you know, we're just sitting here praying, my God, how long can something as delicate as this take this kind of shock? And this has not only happened here, but it's happened globally. Places like the Maldives are like gone, Florida Keys, gone. And we're just sitting here, what can we do to educate and help our young people save this for the next generations?
Now you look out there, eh? You notice how nice and white that water goes out, and then you see the dark areas? The dark areas, turtle grass, and the brown areas, the algae. Now slow down, now you're on these rocks, and there's a lot of living stuff on the rock. You don't want to crush all the little snails.
But what can we do is start by just cleaning up our environment, being sensitive to what we are using, where we're putting it. You know, the planet might be 2/3 water, but that doesn't mean it's a big place to dump.
At our school, we clean up the mangroves and the coral reefs, and we pick up all the dirty trash and all the bottles and other garbage that's there. It helps the baby fishes to live their life.
The swampy wetlands and mangroves are places where people are inclined to go dumping garbage. The kids and the grown-ups are joining in at about 60 different sites which are being cleaned and restored. They can turn this thing around. It can recover. It could be brought round.